Beth, could you give us examples of coaching approaches that you've been using to help people really embed person-centred thinking tools into their day-to-day practices?
This one has been very helpful for staff who are feeling stuck. We call it the Person Centred Self Audit. And it's just a series of, it's a self-reflection activity of asking yourself a series of questions to help kind of ground you in where you're at, where you're stuck, and what you need to do to move forward. Sandra is a staff member who came back and was very excited about what she had been learning in person-centered thinking in a recent training. And she had been using some of the practices in her work, and she was getting some good results, but there was some reluctance that she was afraid to actually share her success with her teammates because there was some cynical discontent among the team. And she was afraid of having repercussions from her teammates about being too excited about this work. So the Person-Centered Self Audit is a series of questions, 7 questions. And the first question was just, how am I thinking? What am I thinking now? And what Sarah, when she answered that question, she realized that what I'm thinking is that this really works. Person-centered thinking tools and practices really works, and I don't understand why the rest of my team is so negative about it or so resistant about it. If they would just try it, they would realize it doesn't take as much more time. Families are very grateful, and we're really seeing some results with people getting services and lives of their choosing. The second question is, what am I feeling? And she said, what I'm really feeling is discouraged. And I don't want to get sucked into the negativity of my team. Third question was, what's important to me now? And Sarah's response was to feel okay about being excited regarding my person-centered efforts and to be supported as I try new things. So she wanted to really acknowledge that feeling of excitement. The fourth question is, what's important for me now? And what she stated was it's important for her to maintain a good relationship with her manager and with her teammates and to provide high-quality services. Then she went on to answer the next question, which was, how am I getting in my own way?
Oh, good question.
Yeah, and she responded by saying she was letting the cynicism of the other people keep her from sharing her success stories and her ideas. And she felt that she was denying herself the joy that she was experiencing by doing some of this good work. So the next question was, what do I need to do differently now? And what she realized was that she needed to speak with her own supervisor to let that person know how she was feeling about the situation on the team. And then the last question was, how do I want to be supported? So she articulated that in order to feel comfortable moving forward with that, speaking with her manager and resolving this, that she wanted encouragement from the manager. She didn't want advice, she wanted encouragement. She wanted help to find other people, either on her team or in other places, that were also excited about using person-centered practices so that she would have a place to share and continue her own learning. So those were some very clear and definite pieces of support or types of support that she could ask for from her manager, which then became part of her action plan and action step. So again, where she started at the beginning and where she ended up, by taking that time to reflect and using some powerful questions, it took her to a different conclusion than what she had originally was just frustrated and just feeling let down by her situation with her team.
And I guess those are questions that colleagues could ask of each other, or a manager could have that conversation with somebody as well. So I can see how they could be very easily incorporated into the conversations that people have when they get stuck. And I imagine that didn't take very long to do, did it?
No, and we are finding that the magic of coaching for person-centered practices is really around the powerful questions and creating that open space for someone to think really well for themselves. And the questions that are aligned with these different coaching tools, they can use them individually. I can use it for myself just to reflect on where I am and where I need to go, or use them to encourage conversation and reflection with another person. Some of the tools can also be approached to a group setting, a team setting. Some are more appropriate on one-on-one, individual conversation. But they really build capacity for good facilitative techniques to encourage people to think on their own.
Lovely. Thank you very much.